Hey you guys, welcome back to the Vintage Hen and Chick. My name is Shelly, the owner and creator here, and today we are doing 3 trash to treasure makeovers. A metal hummingbird getting a gorgeous patina treatment, a wood round with IOD paint inlays and transfers, and a vintage coffee can getting the most charming little makeover. Now let's get started. Project number 1 is this metal hummingbird, and I have to admit, anytime I pick up anything that's metal, I immediately think of Dixie Belle Patina products, and this project is no different. I'm going to be using the Dixie Belle copper patina paint on this hummingbird, and I'm going to start out using a chip brush and giving it one good coat first and letting that completely dry. One thing to note about the Dixie Belle Patina paints is they do have metal flecks inside the paint, so you want to make sure that you shake or stir your patina paints really well before you use them. Now that my first coat of patina paint is dry, it's time to add the second coat and the patina spray. For this project, I chose the Dixie Belle green patina spray. So I'm just taking a chip brush and I'm stippling on my second coat of the copper patina paint. Patina and rust has kind of a textured look, and so by stippling this second coat on, I'm trying to recreate the look of a true patina or rust. And so once I get the entire bird coated with the second coat of patina paint, then I will take my green patina spray and mist it all over my hummingbird in all the areas where there is wet patina paint. Once I get my spray on my bird and all the areas coated, then I will set it aside to dry. It takes about 4 to 6 hours for that true patina to develop. Look at the beautiful patina that the combination of the copper patina paint and the green patina spray created. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. But I wanted to add a little bit more dimension to my hummingbird, and so I'm going to be using my IOD Folk Story stamp and my IOD mixing white ink, and I'm going to stamp over the entire surface of the hummingbird. And the reason that I chose the mixing white ink is because I wanted a stamped impression on my bird, but I wanted it to be subtle, nothing too dark, just a little bit of dimension in the background. So I'm going to start at the top of the bird, lay my stamp down, and then just rub my hands over the areas where the stamp is touching my bird. And I'm going to continue this down the entire bird until I get the whole surface stamped. And then once this bird is completely stamped with my Folk Story stamp, then this project is complete. Here's our beautiful hummingbird all finished up. I did give it 2 coats of Guardsman Weather Defense spray as a top coat in case somebody wanted to hang it outside. I think it turned out beautiful. Let me know in the comments what you think. Project number 2 is this wood tray or cutting board. I'm not sure which. We're going to call it a tray. So what I did is I started out by taking those faux leather handles off. I didn't like the way they looked. And I'm going to start out by giving the front side of the tray and the sides 2 coats of Dixie Belle, the Gulf chalk paint, and then let that completely dry. For the next step on the tray, I'm gonna take my Sweet Pickins beeswax bar and I'm gonna go over the entire surface of the tray, and then I'm gonna go over that with my Dixie Belle Magnolia chalk paint. I wanted the Gulf color to be my base layer, the color that's gonna peek through. So I'm gonna apply the Sweet Pickins beeswax bar over the entire tray, and what this is gonna do is it's gonna create a resist. So that way when I go to sand my Magnolia chalk paint off, I'm gonna see the Gulf peeking through. So now I'm gonna do 2 coats of Magnolia chalk paint over the tray, and I'm kind of brushing it on lightly. That beeswax, like I said, is creating a resist, and you can feel that with your brush. And so I don't want to get too gloppy, and I don't want it to drag in my paint. So I'm going to do the 2 coats and then let that dry. Now that my Magnolia paint is dry, I'm taking some 220 grit sandpaper and I'm gonna sand the entire outer edge of the tray and the inner circle of the tray. And you can see that where I put that beeswax bar heavily on the outer edge, it's sanding off because I created a resist there where the paint didn't stick. And on the inside of the tray, I didn't put it as heavily, so it's just showing some of that Gulf peeking through, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm taking a paint inlay from the IOD Floriography paint inlay set, and I'm gonna apply that to the tray. I've cut out my inlay piece and I've sized it to the board, and now I'm just gonna take my mister bottle, mist the paint side of the inlay, and then I'm gonna be using the Sweet Pickins matte top coat to apply to my board, and that's what my inlay is going to adhere to. You can use chalk paint or you can use a clear coat. For this project, I'm going to be using the clear coat. And so I just applied a healthy coat over my board. I misted the board with my water, and now I'm just laying my wet inlay down, paint side down onto my board. I mist it again with my water bottle, and now I'm taking a dry paper towel and really pushing that inlay into that wet top coat. And it's also mopping up some of that excess water that's sitting on top of my board. And now I'm going to set this aside to completely dry. This is my favorite part of the paint inlay process. My inlay is dry. You can tell by the look of it, it's got kind of a milky color. And now I'm just taking my mister bottle and I'm re-misting that paint inlay. And what this is doing is it's gonna release that inlay from the board. And now I'm gonna take a dry paper towel and mop up that excess water that I just misted on the paint inlay to make sure that I don't have too much water on there, because once I peel back that inlay, I don't want that excess water to smear my paint at all, and that can happen. So once I get all that excess water mopped up, then I just start on one side of the inlay and peel it back. And this is where the magic happens. The paint inlay is actually embedded into that top coat I use and on my board, and it looks absolutely beautiful. I love layering paint inlays with transfers, and so for this project I'm going to be using some transfers from the IOD Rose Botanical Transfer Set, and I've cut out my transfer pieces already, and now I'm just going to strategically place them on my board where I think they're going to look nice. And to apply a transfer, if you've never done it before, you lay your transfer down, use the transfer tool that comes with all the transfer sets, rub over your transfer, and while you peel back that transfer vellum, you're going to see that your transfer is applied to your surface below. Once you get your transfer applied, you take that same transfer vellum and rub it over the transfer to burnish it in. And so now I'm just going to continue to add the rest of my transfers to my board. I did seal everything in with a clear spray sealer, and I think this turned out so beautiful. You could hang it on a wall, you could tuck it in a vignette, you could even display it on a beautiful plate stand. Let me know in the comments what you think. Project number 3 is this beat up and dented vintage coffee can. I love all the imperfections on it, and so I'm just going to enhance them. And I'm going to start out by giving the inside part of the lid and the coffee can 2 coats of Dixie Belle, the Gulf chalk paint. I'm going to leave the upper rim as it is, and I'm also going to leave the lower rim as it is because I like the look of that kind of rusty, crusty metal against the color of the chalk paint. For the lid, I'm just going to do the inner circle of the lid where it says butternut coffee in those raised letters. So I'm going to do 2 coats here, and I'm going to do 2 coats on the coffee can as well. So now that my paint is dry, I'm just taking a baby wipe and I'm gonna do some wet distressing. I'm gonna wet distress on the lid and the coffee can as well. And for the lid, it's got those really cool raised letters that say butternut coffee. And so I'm gonna use my baby wipe and distress those and bring those forward so you can see them and make this lid look even more vintage. And for the can, I'm going to go around the lower edge of the can, and I'm going to wet distress along the upper edge of the can. And I'm also going to wet distress kind of in random areas on the can, in all the places where it's got those dents and bumps and bruises. I want to really bring those out and highlight that on the coffee can. So now I want to add a transfer to my coffee can, and I've chosen a transfer from the IOD Home Sweet Home transfer set. It's this coffee transfer, which I thought was absolutely perfect for this project. And so I'm just going to place my transfer where I want it on the can and use my transfer tool to rub over the transfer. Once I get the transfer rubbed onto the can, then I will start peeling back the transfer, working from one side to the next, rubbing as I peel back that transfer vellum. Once the transfer is completely applied, then I'm going to use the transfer vellum, rub it over that transfer to burnish it in to make sure that there's no bubbles or wrinkles in my transfer. So now I want to grunge up my coffee can a little bit more and seal it in. So I'm going to be using my Dixie Belle Easy Peasy Spray Wax and my Dixie Dirt in the color Earth. And the Easy Peasy Spray Wax is a really easy way to seal and protect your chalk paint. It also works really well paired with the Dixie Dirt to make sure that it sticks to your project. And so what I'm doing is I'm just spraying the lid with my spray wax, and then I'm just taking a brush, dipping it into my Dixie Dirt and applying it in all the areas where I want it to look a little bit more grungy and dirty, and then using a dry paper towel to buff it in until I get the look that I'm going for. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the can. I'm going to spray the wax on the can, and I'm going to work in sections. And then I'm going to apply my Dixie Dirt all over, around the edges, in those areas that have the dents and the wrinkles and the imperfections, and I'm just going to highlight those with my Dixie Dirt. And so I'm going to work around the entire can, spraying a section with my spray wax, and then applying my Dixie Dirt and using a dry paper towel to rub everything in until I get the look that I'm going for. I love the way this coffee can turned out. I think it has the perfect amount of grunge and distressing to make it look old and vintage and just kind of beat up. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And if you love these projects, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. All the products I used in today's projects are available on my website at thevintagehenandchick.com. And if you want even more creative goodness, come join us over in the Paper Nest Collective. The link is down below. I'll be back again next week with another fun video, so I'll see you then.